Well, folks, hello. What a shit show today at the Oval Office, just days after the United States, for the first time ever, decided to side with Russia and North Korea on whether or not to blame Russia for the war in Ukraine. Um, President Zelensky came to the Oval Office to sign the rare minerals deal that Trump wants him to sign. Now, we have to take into account that President Donald Trump has accused President Zelensky of being a dictator while refusing to do the same for the actual dictator, Vladimir Putin. Um, and you could see throughout the entire meeting that Zelensky wanted to correct Trump on so many things. He rolled his eyes. I have no idea how many times. We're going to take here a look at some of the clips from that meeting. This first clip that I'm going to play for you guys is basically Zelensky telling the press um, what happens when there's a deal, but no actual security guarantees, meaning forces on the ground that would prevent Putin from striking Ukraine again.
Speak about ceasefire and speak, it will not work. Just ceasefire will not never work because I'm like a president. I have this experience, and not only me. Ukraine before my presidency from the 2014, Putin broken 25 times. 25 times he broken his own signature. 25 times he broken ceasefire.
But he never broke to me. He never broke
No,
to
no,
me.
you were the president.
He
You
never
were the
broke-
president
he
during.
never broke to me.
In 2016, you've been the president, Mr. President. You've been the president, but he had, of course, not with you, but he had during those period, he had conversations with our side. And we had Normandy format, the France, Germany, Ukraine, and Russia. And he broken 25 times. That's why we will never accept just ceasefire. It will not work without security guarantees. Security guarantees, maybe President is right about this document and other, but this document is not enough. Strong army is enough because his soldiers afraid, Putin's soldiers afraid of our soldiers when we're strong enough. If we are not strong enough, if we are empty, if our storage is empty, we can't defend our land. Today, he knows that we have all the world knows that we have meeting. Yes, why he's using ballistic? Putin today using ballistic on our hospitals, schools, and etc. Ballistic. So he knows that we are here and that President Trump is really have goodwill to stop this war. And you hear now the president. So why he's using? So he doesn't want to stop. He doesn't want. But I hope that we will do it. Really, we'll do it. Security, when we speak about security guarantees, when the Europeans are ready for contingents, they need USA backstop. If there will not be United States, we will not never have any contingents, strong contingents from the Europeans, because they don't want to divide alliance, connection between the United States as the main and strongest ally and Europeans. And this is crucial, this is important. That's what we want to speak about very much. This is very important. And air defense. So air defense, really, we have big deficit with all the systems, and we need to provide this. We need it very much. Otherwise, Putin will never stop and will go further and further. He doesn't want. He hates us, It's not about me. He hates Ukrainians. He thinks that we are not a nation. He thinks, and he shared these thoughts, I think maybe with your team also, I don't know. But with all the Europeans, in media, official and not, he always said that there is no such country, such nation, such language, and such life like Ukrainian. No, he really doesn't respect all the Ukrainians, and he wants to destroy us. And you are right, Mr. President. That's 2%. This document, maybe other documents, it's a very good start, very good, but it will not enough to stop this person.
Should Russia pay to rebuild?
So we see you guys over there. Zelensky was basically saying, listen, we can sign papers all you want, but it's not going to stop him. And the thing is, basically, Russia wants to demolish the Ukraine. He wants to conquer Ukraine, and Ukraine is right now fighting for all of Europe because will Vladimir Putin stop with Ukraine? Well, chances are that he won't. And the fact that Donald Trump spends so much of these meetings with every single meeting that he has, I feel like he has an obsession with Biden. All he does is talk about Biden this and Biden that. And this right here argument from Zelensky, he's saying, no, they conquered Crimea in 2014. You were president in 2016, and we had deals signed with Putin. And after we had the deal signed with Putin, which they did between Germany and France, I believe, he broke those deals. Right now they're attacking us, and they know that I am here to make a deal with you, and they're not being respectful of that. They're not being mindful of that. They don't care. We can sign all the papers you want. You want my you want my earth minerals? Great. I need you to guarantee me security. If you want the minerals that are in my country, I need you to reassure me that there's going to be a security guarantee, not just that you're going to go to Putin and sign a little paper. Because at the end of the day, Pete Hegseth, which made a fool of himself when he went to Europe, basically just said, um, I think it's not reasonable for Ukraine to have their land back. And I think it's not, even Trump has said this. I think Ukraine joining NATO is out of the question. Why are they being held culpable by this administration? And why are they telling the world that Ukraine doesn't deserve to be a sovereign nation and doesn't deserve to make its own choices? Like I could even understand not not diplomacy and being somewhat friendly with Putin, but Donald Trump is not just being cordial with Putin, is basically giving Putin a rim job. That's what he's doing. And he is repeating everything that the Russian media and the Kremlin is saying about Ukraine. Now, we're going to watch the video now of when JD Vance and Donald Trump, like two petulant children, basically gang up on President Zelensky. And it is so embarrassing to see what this administration is doing. And it's ridiculous.
The country that has great music, great movies, great muscle cars, but also as a force for good. And now I'm talking with my friends in Poland, and they are worried that you align yourself too much with Putin. What's your message for them?
Well, if I didn't align myself with both of them, you'd never have a deal. You want me to say really terrible things about Putin and then say, hi, Vladimir, how are we doing on the deal? That doesn't work that way. I'm not aligned with Putin. I'm not aligned with anybody. I'm aligned with the United States of America and for the good of the world. I'm aligned with the world, and I want to get this thing over with. You see the hatred he's got for Putin. It's very tough for me to make a deal with that kind of hate. He's got tremendous hatred, and I understand that, but I can tell you the other side isn't exactly in love with, him either. So it's not a question of alignment. I'm aligned with the world. I want to get the thing set. I'm aligned with Europe. I want to see if we can get this thing done. You want me to be tough? I could be tougher than any human being you've ever seen. I'd be so tough. But you're never going to get a deal that way. So that's the way it goes. All right, one more question.
I will respond to this. So look, For 4 years in the United States of America, we had a president who stood up at press conferences and talked tough about Vladimir Putin, and then Putin invaded Ukraine and destroyed a significant chunk of the country. The path to peace and the path to prosperity is maybe engaging in diplomacy. We tried the pathway of Joe Biden of thumping our chest and pretending that the President of the United States' words mattered more than the President of the United States' actions. What makes America a good country is America engaging in diplomacy. That's what President Trump is doing.
Can I ask you?
Sure.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So he occupied our parts, big parts of Ukraine, part of East and Crimea. So he occupied it on 2014. So during a lot of years, so I'm not speaking about just Biden, but those time was Obama, then President Obama, then President Trump, then President Biden, now President Trump, and God bless, now President Trump will stop him. But during 2014, nobody stopped him. He just occupied and took. He killed people. You know what the contact line?
2015.
2014.
2014 is
Well, 2014.
Yeah. So
I was,
he
I
killed.
was not here.
Yeah, but,
That's exactly
but
right.
yes, but during 2014 till 2022, yeah, the situation the same. The people have been dying on the contact line. Nobody stopped him. You know that we had conversations with him, a lot of conversation, my bilateral conversation, and we signed with him, me, like a new president. In 2019, I signed with him the deal. I signed with him, Macron and Merkel, we signed ceasefire. Ceasefire, all of them told me that he will never go. We signed him with gas contract, yes, but after that, he broken this ceasefire. He killed our people and he didn't exchange prisoners. We signed the exchange of prisoners, but he didn't do it. What kind of diplomacy, JD, you are speaking about? What do you mean?
I'm talking about the kind of diplomacy that's going to end the destruction of your country.
Yes, but if you are not strong...
Mr. President, with respect, I think it's disrespectful for you to come into the Oval Office and try to litigate this in front of the American media. Right now, you guys are going around and forcing conscripts to the front lines because you have manpower problems. You should be thanking the President for trying to bring an end to this conflict.
Have you ever been to Ukraine that you say what problems we have?
I have been to.
Come once.
I've actually watched and seen the stories, and I know what happens is you bring people, you bring them on a propaganda tour, Mr. President. Do you disagree that you've had problems?
What?
Bringing people into your military?
We have problems.
And do you think that it's respectful
I will answer.
to come to the Oval Office of the United
answer.
States of America and attack the administration that is trying to prevent the destruction of your country?
A lot of questions. Let's start from the beginning.
Sure.
First of all, during the war, everybody has problems. Even you, but you have nice ocean and don't feel now, but you will feel it in the future. God bless.
You don't know that.
God bless.
You don't
God
know
bless.
that.
You
Don't-
will not
you
have
gotta-
a war.
Don't tell us what we're going to feel. We're trying to solve a problem. Don't tell us what we're going to feel.
I'm not telling you.
Because
I'm
you're in no
answering on this
position to
question.
dictate that.
That's
Remember
exactly what
this.
I'm not
You're
dictating.
in no position to dictate what we're going to feel.
You
We're
will-
going to feel very
you will
good.
feel influence.
We're going to feel very
I'm
good and
telling
very
you,
strong.
You will feel influence.
You're right now not in a very good position. You've allowed
From the
yourself
very-
to be in a
from
very
the
bad
very
position,
beginning
and
of
he
the
happens
war.
to be right about
From
it.
the very beginning of the war.
You're not
Mr.
in a
Brown,
good position.
I
You don't
was
have
in
the cards right now. With us, you start
I'm
having
not
cards.
playing
But
cards.
right now, you
I'm
don't.
very
Yeah, you're playing
serious,
cards.
Mr. President.
You're
I'm
playing
very
cards.
serious.
You're
I'm
gambling
the
with the
president
lives
in
of
war.
millions of people.
You think-
You're gambling with World War
What
III.
are you
You're
speaking about?
gambling with
What are you
World
speaking
War
about?
III. And what you're doing is very disrespectful to the country, this country.
I'm
That's
with
back
all
to you.
respect to you.
Far more than a lot of people said
I'm wearing
they
respect.
should have.
Have you said thank you once this
A lot
entire
of
meeting?
times.
No, in this
Even
entire meeting,
today.
have you said thank
Even
you?
today.
You went to Pennsylvania and campaigned for the opposition in October. Offer some words of appreciation for the
What-
United
what
States
are
of
you
America
speaking about?
and the president who's trying to save your country.
Please, you think that if you will speak very loudly about the war, you
He's
can...
not speaking loudly. He's not
Yeah.
speaking loudly. Your country is
Can I-
in big
can-
trouble.
can I
Wait a
answer?
minute. No,
Can
you've
I
done a lot
answer?
of talking. Your country is in big trouble.
I know.
You're not
I
winning.
know.
You're not winning this.
I,
You have a damn
we-
good chance of
we are
coming out
staying-
okay because of us.
Mr. President, We are staying in our country, staying strong from the very beginning of the war. We've been alone, and we are thankful. I said thanks
You haven't
in
been
this
alone.
cabinet,
You
and
haven't
not
been
only
alone.
in this
We
cabinet.
gave you, through
I
this
said thank
stupid
you.
president, $350 billion.
You
We
voted
gave
for
you
your
military equipment,
You
and your
voted
men
for
are
your
brave,
president.
but they had to use our military.
What about
if,
West
if
Virginia?
you didn't
You
have our
invited
military
me-
equipment,
you invited
if
me
you
to
didn't
speak.
have our military equipment, this war would have been over in 2 weeks.
In 3
okay?
days, I heard it from Putin. In 3 days, this is something
Maybe
new.
less.
In 2 weeks, of course, yes.
It's going to be a very hard thing to do business like this, I tell you.
Just say thank you.
I
Accept-
said a lot of
accept
times
that
thank
there-
you
accept
to
that-
American people.
Accept that there are disagreements, and let's go litigate those disagreements rather than trying to fight it out in the American media when you're wrong. We know that you're wrong.
But you see, I think it's good for the American people to see what's going on
I
over there.
understand, sir.
I think it's
I
very
understand.
important. That's why I kept this going so long. You have to be thankful. You don't have the
I'm
cards.
thankful.
You're buried there. Your people are dying.
tell you
You're
again,
running
I
low on
know.
soldiers.
Don't-
Listen,
don't
you're
please,
running
Mr.
low
President.
on soldiers. It would be a damn good thing.
Mr.
And
President.
then you tell us, I don't want a ceasefire. I don't want a ceasefire. I want to go, and I wanted this. Look, if you could get a ceasefire right now, I tell you, you take it so the bullets stop flying and your men stop getting killed.
Of course, we want to stop the war.
But you're
I
saying you
said-
don't want a ceasefire?
But I said to you,
I want a ceasefire.
with guarantees.
Because you'll get a ceasefire faster than an agreement.
Ask our people about ceasefire, what they think.
That wasn't
doesn't
with
matter
me.
for you what-
That
what
wasn't
this
with me.
means. It
That was
wasn't
with
with you.
a guy named Biden, who was not a smart person.
But this
That
is
was
your,
with,
this
that was
is
with
your
Obama.
president. It was your president.
Excuse me, that was with Obama, who gave you sheets, and I gave you javelins.
Yes.
I gave you the javelins to take out all those tanks. Obama gave you sheets. In fact, the statement is, Obama gave sheets and Trump gave javelins. You gotta be more thankful, because let me tell you, you don't have the cards. With us, you have the cards, but without us, you don't have any cards.
One more question to Mr. Vice President. I'm sorry.
It's gonna be a tough deal to make,
Um,
because the attitudes have to change.
what if Russia breaks ceasefire? What if Russia breaks peace talks? What do we do then? I understand that it's a heated conversation right now.
What are you
but
saying?
What
She's
if
asking, what if Russia
Putin
breaks the ceasefire?
for the-
What if anything? What if a bomb drops on your head right now?
But they have
Okay?
broken ceasefire
What if they broke it?
many
I don't know.
times.
They broke it with Biden because Biden, they didn't respect him. They didn't respect Obama. They respect me.
But all-
Let me tell you, Putin went through a hell of a lot with me. He went through a phony witch hunt where they used him and Russia. Russia. You ever hear of that deal? That was a phony Hunter Biden, Joe Biden scam. Hillary Clinton, Shifty Adam Schiff. It was a Democrat scam. And he had to go through that. And he did go through it. We didn't end up in a war. And he went through it. He was accused of all that stuff. He had nothing to do with it. It came out of Hunter Biden's bathroom. It came out of Hunter Biden's bedroom. It was disgusting. And then they said, oh, the laptop from hell was made by Russia. The 51 agents. The whole thing was a scam. And he had to put up with that. He was being accused of all that stuff. All I can say is this. He might have broken deals with Obama and Bush, and he might have broken them with Biden. He did, maybe. Maybe he didn't. I don't know what happened. But he didn't break them with me. He wants to make a deal. I don't know if you can make a deal. The problem is, I've empowered you to be a tough guy. And I don't think you'd be a tough guy without the United States. And your people are very brave. But you're either going to make a deal or we're out. And if we're out, you'll fight it out. I don't think it's going to be pretty, but you'll fight it out. But you don't have the cards. But once we sign that deal, you're in a much better position. But you're not acting at all thankful. And that's not a nice thing. I'll be honest, that's not a nice thing.
So I never thought I would see the day where the United States was in the wrong side of history. Um, it's really really upsetting. And I want to remind you guys something, because what Zelensky basically wants is, before he signs, like I mentioned, his rare minerals, he wants a security guarantee from the United States. Now, it's incredible to me how it almost feels like Donald Trump is in love with Putin, the way that he speaks about this man. We went through something together. We went through something so much together. he and I don't know if you guys caught it, but when Trump said, if it wasn't for us, this would be over in 2 weeks. And Mr. President Zelensky said, yeah, I've heard that. I've heard that from Putin. Basically saying, you are regurgitating what the Kremlin is saying. You're basically saying the same thing they're saying. And let me make this clear. President Zelensky has thanked the United States for its help several times, like multiple times, many times. They just don't want to be taken advantage of. And the reason that the security guarantees are so important is because not only is Putin continuously breaking the pacts that they have made of ceasefire, but I want to give you guys a little note from history. So in 1939, Hitler signed the Munich Pact. Just 6 months later, he broke that pact, invaded Czechoslovakia, and then went on to invade Poland. That's when World War II started. Who's to say that, again, Putin is going to stop with Ukraine? But let's take a look at basically what the Russian media has to say about what happened today at the Oval Office. The insolent pig finally got a proper slap down in the Oval Office. That's what the deputy chair of Russia's Security Council said on Twitter. And Maria Zakharova, which she's the Russian Foreign Ministry spokesperson, suggested that Trump and U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance, who was also involved in the heated confrontation, showed restraint by not punching this scumbag. How Trump and Vance restrained themselves, and I quote, and didn't punch this scumbag is a miracle of endurance, Sakharov wrote on Telegram. I think Zelensky's biggest lie of all his lies is the White House statement that Kiev regime was left alone in 2022 without support. Well, now do you guys see whose side Trump is on? The only ones applauding what happened today is Russia. Let's take a look at what the rest of Europe has to say here. Um, let's see. Canadian Prime Minister said Russia illegally and unjustifiably invaded Ukraine for 3 years now. Ukrainians have fought with courage and resilience to their fight for democracy, freedom, and sovereignty, and a fight that matters to us all. Canada will continue to stand with Ukraine and Ukrainians in achieving a just and lasting peace. The German Chancellor Olaf Scholz said, no one wants peace more than the citizens of Ukraine. That is why we are jointly seeking the path to a lasting and just peace. Ukraine can rely on Germany and on Europe. French President Emmanuel Macron said to reporters in Portugal, Russia is the aggressor and Ukraine is the aggressed people. I think we were all right to help Ukraine and sanction Russia 3 years ago and to continue to do so. We, that is the United States of America, the Europeans, the Canadians, the Japanese, and many others. And we must thank all those who have helped and respect those who have been fighting since the beginning, because they are fighting for their dignity, their independence, their children, and the security of Europe. These are simple things, but they're good to remember at times like this. That's all. Italian Prime Minister Giorgio Meloni said, every division of the West makes us all weaker and favors those who would like to see a decline of our civilization, not of its power or influence, but the principles that founded it. First and foremost, freedom. A division would not benefit anyone. And he continues, what is needed is an immediate summit between the United States, European states, and allies to talk frankly about how we intend to deal with the great challenges of today, starting with Ukraine, which we have defended together in recent years, and those that will be called upon to face in the future. This is the proposal that Italy intends to make to its partners in the coming hours. The Prime Minister for Britain, Keir Starmer, says he retains his unwavering support for Ukraine and is playing his part to find path forward to a lasting peace based on sovereignty and security for Ukraine. Of course, Canada says that they remain committed. That's Melanie Jolie on X. Denmark's foreign minister, Lars Loke Rasmussen, on Facebook said it's a punch in the gut for Ukraine. There must be room for robust conversations, even between friends. But when it happens in front of rolling cameras like that, there is only one winner, and he sits in the Kremlin. Now, there's more, but basically, Spanish Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez said on X, Ukraine, Spain stands with you. Um, Overwhelming support from the rest of Europe. But again, the only ones happy about this are the Russians. The Russian media is definitely eating this all up. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and we'll keep you updated. Make sure that you like and subscribe. We appreciate your support. Have a good one. Goodbye.